So whenever I review a TV, there are always people who ask me, what are the picture settings that I use? So in this video, that's exactly what I'll give you. Stick around. Perfect. Hey guys, it's the Villaman here, home theater enthusiast and all around tech lover. Now on this channel, we bring you the tech of entertainment, all in 4K HDR. So if you want to see more videos like this and reviews of TVs like this and more, then hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. Alright, so today I'll be going over the best picture settings for gaming and for movies. Now these have been the settings that I've used since I've had the TV and I have found that they work very well. So let's get to it. Alright, so I'll be using this image to show you the before and after I've adjusted the picture settings. Now the first thing we want to do is go to the menu and scroll to the left and go to picture mode. That's the first thing we want to change. And we're going to change this to movie mode because that's the most accurate picture mode. I have intelligent mode on, and this just allows the backlight to be adjusted depending on the ambient lighting in the room. So we change the picture mode to movie. The other modes have their own quirks, so some have too much contrast, some have too much of a cool tint. This one is the most accurate. And then the next thing we want to change is the color tone from warm 1, which is the default, to standard. So this one is not warm and it's not cool. It's more neutral. We also want to make sure that Auto Motion Plus is turned off. It's turned on by default in auto, but we want to make sure that it's turned off. And that's the only changes we need to make on this part of the screen. So what then we do is go to the settings and go to picture and then to expert settings. Backlight, it's fine at 50. That's the highest it gets adjusted based on the ambient lighting in your room. Contrast is 50. These are the default settings, so you don't need to change them. The only thing that you would need to change is Auto Motion Plus, which you already changed in the other menu. Make sure that local dimming is at high because that's why you buy a local dimming TV, right? A full array local dimming TV, so you can have that feature of it. So leave that at high. But then I found that contrast enhancer, now this has different effects. So I found that with high, the highlights are essentially blown out. The white point gets too high and the highlights are sometimes blown out. And this is basically too much in one direction. So I found that low is a great intermediate between off and high. So press the button to select that. And we don't need to change anything else right here. So this is the before and after. You can see that there's a pretty significant difference. Alright, so let's configure the settings for game mode. So if you connect your game console directly to the TV, it will recognize it when you start playing a game and will switch to auto low latency mode. But if you have it connected via a receiver, then you'll have to select game mode manually. Now you select game mode by going into the settings and going over to game mode and selecting on or off. So in this case, we turn it on. And now once you turn it on, you can edit the settings for it. So if you go up on the menu, if you press up on your remote and you select that, then you see you get brought to the game mode settings, in which case you will need to turn off, first and foremost, turn off game motion plus settings, because I found it that this just enables, or this just creates a lot of artifacts because it tries to smooth out the motion in the games and it just doesn't look very right. So that's the first thing I turn off. And once you disable that, everything else gets grayed out. Now, I think Game Enhancer is a personal preference thing, so if you disable it, then you'll see that the picture just gets a lot less contrasty, and when you enable it, it brings up the contrast. So if you like that pop in your game image, which I do, then you just leave that on. Now, FreeSync is another story. So there are two modes to FreeSync besides off. There is basic and ultimate. And now ultimate is basically FreeSync enabled between 48 to 120 hertz. So if you're playing a 60 hertz game, this is where you want to set it at. And for basic, it's 90 to 120 hertz, which I don't think is very applicable unless you're playing like a 120 hertz game or having your monitor connected to your PC. But for consoles, for your Xbox One X or Xbox One S, I'd say Ultimate is the way to go. And if you're playing a game which doesn't support FreeSync, then nothing will happen. It just won't be enabled, but the picture won't black out or anything like that. As you can see right here, because I'm playing on a PS4 and have FreeSync set to Ultimate, and it works just fine. And those are all the changes you need to make. You can set your color tone also the same way you set it with the movie mode, but I think standard color tone is the best. If you're playing in a dark room, they say warmer light has less of a detrimental impact on your eyes, so you might want to select warm. If you're playing under normal conditions, then I think standard color tone is the better choice. Alright, so those are my settings for gaming and for movies. Now, depending on when you're watching this, the review for this TV might either be live right now or be live in a couple of days. So make sure to check it out. Also, don't forget to like the video if you liked the video and subscribe if you haven't already for more content to come on this TV and other TVs from 2019. Until next time, this has been your friend and neighborhood Villaman saying, peace.